What's up guys, Nathan here, and today I want to give you my top 5 things that I would tell myself today if I had to start poker all over again. Hopefully this will help some of you guys that are just starting out in the game or struggling still in small and micro stakes games. Let's jump into this. Alright, so the first thing that I would tell myself if I could go back in time 15, 20 years ago when I was first starting out in this game is to learn a basic strategy and ignore all the advanced stuff. Guys, there's good and bad today with the amount of information that's out there to quickly get better results in your game. The good news is there's never been more. There are so many training courses, poker books. I've written 3 of them myself, links in the description. You can hire endless amounts of coaches these days. You can use fantastic software like Poker Tracker to review your hands and find your leaks. Again, I'll have links for everything down in the description below, but with all of this plethora of information also comes information overload, and I get the emails in the comments every single day from people that are honestly, they're just flustered. They don't know who to listen to. They have studied so much advanced GTO math, they've got solvers running on the side, and they're playing in $5 poker games. Guys, if you are like 90% of people and you play in small stakes poker games, I've mentioned this many times, just learn a basic strategy. I have a free poker cheat sheet, that'll be the top link in the description below. You can read it in an afternoon. It is a basic strategy that will get you winning in your $5 poker games on the internet or your $100 game in the casino. You do not need to understand and study super high level math, solver analysis, and all of that if you're just starting out in the game. Just learn a basic tight and aggressive strategy, guys. It's all you need to beat these low stakes games. Moving on to point number 2 is to focus heavily on game selection. Now, I've always been somebody who has preached game selection over the years. That is making sure that you're playing in games that always have at least one recreational player in them. That has been my rule forever. But in today's climate, with a lot more people that are studying the game, that are watching videos like this, that are improving their game, I believe it is more important than ever. Guys, I say it all the time, your results in poker are directly correlated always to the games that you yourself decide to play in. So please choose wisely. Make sure there's always one clear recreational player in your games, or else you're just choosing ego over profit, because thinking that you're just going to sit down and somehow you're better than a bunch of other people who are also watching videos like this, who are also reading books and studying training courses and hiring coaches, to just think that somehow you're better than them for some reason is just not a smart strategy in today's games. Guys, like I always say, do things the easy way in this game. Don't try to draw blood from a stone by trying to get your ego involved and outwit other strong thinking players. Just do it the easy way and play against the weekend warriors, the drunken fish. That is where the real money comes from in this game, guys. Focus heavily on your game selection. Number 3 would be to move up fast and also move down fast. A lot of people get the first one, but they don't get the second one. So what do I mean by this? I mean that I would use a very aggressive bankroll management strategy. I might actually go a little bit under for cash games. I typically suggest 30 buy-ins. I might actually go to say 20 buy-ins or something like that, for example. But with a super aggressive moving up strategy like this, it means I have 20 buy-ins for each level I move up to. It also means if I drop below 20 buy-ins, I move down. And again, that's the point that a lot of people do not get. But if you can learn that it goes both ways, if you can move up aggressively and move down aggressively as well, you can really accelerate your results in this game. I used very, very conservative bankroll management for many years, and I think it held me back. I was, way too nitty, having hundreds of buy-ins before I'd even move up to like the $50 game. Ridiculous and not worth it. Guys, as I always say, the real money in poker is at mid and high stakes. It's not in low stakes. Nobody's getting rich at the micros or small stakes games these days. So your best bet is to try to get up to those higher limits as quickly as possible. Obviously improving your game is going to help tremendously. I already discussed that a bit. If you can learn how to aggressively move up and aggressively move down, that's going to get you into those bigger stakes games a lot faster. Number 4 is to focus on your edge away from the table. This is something that I've also been discussing for over 10 years on my poker blog in these videos. By the way, make sure you're subscribed. Is to focus heavily on what you do away from the tables. I have an entire section in my brand new Black Rain 79 Elite Poker University where I talk about my lifestyle as a semi-pro and a full-time pro, how I schedule my playing, my studying, my social life, all that kind of stuff. Meditation, diet, exercise. These are all important ingredients in the puzzle of a long-term winning poker player that nobody talks about these days. Everyone just wants to talk about the strategy. Oh, how do you play your ace king better in this certain situation? If you're one of those people who, never exercises, eats, suboptimal food, gets poor sleep, and so on, the problem is you're not going to be thinking clearly at the poker table. You're not going to have the emotional control of somebody who is taking their life seriously away from the poker table. Guys, I always talk about treating this game like a professional athlete. If you want real results in this game, you need to give a world-class effort, and this doesn't mean just showing up at the poker table and magically thinking you're going to win. You need to be studying your hands away from the table, focusing heavily on diet, sleep, exercise, meditation, whatever it is that you need to get you playing consistently in peak mental state, playing your A game at all times when you are seated at the poker table. People that take this game seriously understand that this winning poker at an elite level is an entire lifestyle decision. It's not something you just sit down and magically expect to win. Tip number 5 that I would tell myself, my final one, if I was starting poker all over again, would be to move overseas quicker. Now, I know this one's not for everyone, but it worked out well for me. I've talked about it many times in these videos and on my blog. I moved over to Thailand specifically, and I've spent a lot of time in other countries in this region as well. Over 10 years ago now. I've also traveled a lot in Europe and other places, and it was one of the best decisions that I ever made in my life. It's not because I have any animosity against my country of Canada, where I'm come from. I love my country of Canada, actually, but I realized also that there's a big world out there. There's 194 other countries out there, and a lot of them have better weather than Canada, and most of them are cheaper than Canada, which is the real important point. Most of you guys watching this video probably come from one of these wealthier Western countries like I do. Again, I come from Vancouver, one of the most beautiful cities in the world. It is freaking expensive to live there. So if I'm playing online poker, especially in small stakes, why would I choose to play there when I could go live somewhere like in Southeast Asia, Latin America, Eastern Europe, where the cost of living is significantly cheaper? I wrote an entire article on moving to Thailand and other places on my blog before. You guys can go find that. But bottom line, guys, it's not always about increasing your income in poker. It's also about lowering your expenses. Why live in New York City when you can live in Bangkok or Ho Chi Minh City or Zagreb or Medellin, Colombia at 25% of the price of New York or whatever it is, probably even less. So if you take this game super seriously and you have an appetite for some adventure, I would suggest at least trying it out, going and living in one of these lower cost destinations for a while. You might end up enjoying it, you might end up hating it, just moving back to your country as well. There's nothing wrong with that. So anyways, guys, I hope that these 5 tips helped. These are the 5 things I would tell myself if I was starting poker all over again today. Let me know what you would tell yourself if you were just starting poker again. Make sure you guys like and subscribe if you found this one helpful, and also grab a copy of my free poker cheat sheet. That'll be the top link in the description below. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. I will catch you next time.